on with Kevin Hart, we called Endemol immediately and said, Kevin Hart said, whatever we want to do, he got us, he's gonna partner, executive use. They was like, oh, this is incredible, because when you put Kevin Hart's name on it, you already know what it is.
Correct.
2 weeks go by, we get a call from Endemol. Endemol says, we just got a call from Kevin Hart's manager, Dave Becky. And Dave Becky said Kevin doesn't want anything to do with Monique.
So, you know when Katt Williams promised to turn Club Shay Shay into a sanctuary of truth? Well, it looks like he wasn't kidding, because now it seems like everyone's lining up to spill the beans on the industry's wolves in sheep's clothing. Following in the footsteps of Katt, the Oscar-winning stand-up comic Monique took the mic on Shannon Sharpe's podcast, Club Shay Shay. And let me tell you, her interview is shaping up to be an absolute bombshell. Clocking in at nearly 3 hours, Monique isn't holding back one bit. She's ready to dish out some Hollywood secrets she's uncovered throughout her career, and boy, is it juicy. Now, Monique's never been one to shy away from calling out some of Tinseltown's heavy hitters like Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, and Lee Daniels. And yeah, she definitely revisited some of her past controversies with them. But here's the kicker. She's got a brand new scoop on one of her peers, Kevin Hart. And let me tell you, just like with Katt, it's epic. Rumor has it this secret she's about to drop could potentially be the end of Kevin's career. Yeah, you heard that right. And the buzz doesn't stop there. Word on the street is Kevin might be feeling the heat. Sure, he's been putting on a brave face since Katt's comments, but fans aren't buying it. They're saying it's all just an act, and now Monique's about to spill even more of Kevin's dirty laundry. Sounds like Kevin might need to invest in some serious armor, because it's looking like he's about to get hit with a barrage of truth bombs. So, what exactly is the secret that could supposedly be the final nail in Kevin Hart's career coffin? Well, buckle up, because we're about to dive deep into the drama. Alright, let's rewind back to 2021. There was this memorable episode on Kevin Hart's Comedy Goldmines podcast where he had the legendary Monique as his guest. They delved deep into Monique's life, her rise in the comedy scene, and where she stands today in her career. Now, if you're not familiar with it, Monique has had some long-standing issues with Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry, and trust me, we'll get into that later, so hang tight. During their conversation, Monique opened up about the struggles her family faced, describing it as being up against the wall. It was then that Kevin Hart, being the stand-up guy he is, stepped in to offer his support. He expressed to Monique that she's like family to him, a mother, an aunt, a sister rolled into one. And let me tell you, Hart didn't just stop at comforting words, he took action. Now, Hart admitted he didn't really know Oprah Winfrey personally, but he promised Monique that he'd reach out to Tyler Perry. And guess what? He did just that. After a heartfelt conversation with Perry, Hart came back to Monique with some promising news. Perry was ready to bury the hatchet and move past the drama. Hart, being the voice of reason, urged Monique to do the same. He told her, let's leave all that negativity in the rearview mirror, Mo. We've got bigger things to accomplish together. But Hart's generosity didn't stop there. In a conversation with Shannon Sharpe, Monique revealed that Hart not only offered emotional support, but also extended a professional hand. He proposed to partner with her and even offered to executive produce any project she wanted to bring to life. Monique recounted Hart's words, saying, Mo, I talked to Tyler. He said he didn't want to revisit it, but I'll tell you what, let's move past that, Mo. Let's just do great things together. Don't even worry about it. Whatever you want to do, I will partner with you. I'll executive produce with you. You just let me know.
I want you to hear me, Kevin Hart. Let's move past that, Mo. Let's do some great things together. Don't even worry about it. Whatever y'all want to do, I will partner with you. I'll executive produce with you. You just let me know what you want to do.
She also spilled the beans about how Kevin came through big time, lending her a hefty sum of cash. And get this, she even returned it with interest. But here's where it gets juicy. After Hart promised to help her get her talk show back on track, naturally, Monique was stoked, and who wouldn't be? Having Kevin Hart as a producer could skyrocket any project. So she excitedly tells her producers and Endemol, her media production company, and they're all on board, thrilled at the prospect of working with such a big star. But plot twist, 2 weeks later, Monique gets hit with some devastating news. Endemol drops the bombshell that Kevin Hart's manager, Dave Becky, gave them a ring to say that Kevin had cold feet. Monique picks up the phone, hoping for an explanation from Hart himself. And what does she get? A vague reassurance. We'll talk Tuesday. Don't worry about it, he says.
That's a miscommunication, and we're going to talk Tuesday. Don't worry about it. I'm telling you right now, it's a miscommunication. That was 2 years ago. If you talk to him, I talk to him. I've never talked back to Kevin Hart.
Fast forward 2 years and cricket. Monique hasn't heard a peep from Kevin since. But hold up, here come the armchair detectives. Some fans are crying foul, suggesting that maybe Kevin never intended to help Monique in the first place. They're pointing to his sketchy track record, like that time he claimed he didn't really know Oprah Winfrey. I mean, come on, who could forget the whole Oprah sending him flowers ordeal after his accident in 2019? In a chat with Ellen, they got into it, with Ellen explaining how she reached out to Kevin Kevin after hearing about his accident and back surgery. Kevin shared that he received plenty of flowers from well-wishers, but it was OPR floral gift that stood out. According to Kevin, OPR flowers are like a never-ending story. They're still thriving, turning his place into a botanical paradise. It's become a joke in his house, with everyone wondering when OPR flowers will finally call it quit. Kevin even joked about someone secretly watering them because, despite neglect, they just won't die. The flowers are so significant that they've taken over the dining table, leaving the Harts eating on the floor rather than disturb OPR cherished plant. And now, he's claiming he doesn't really know her? Seems fishy, right? And then there's the wild rumor mill spinning tales about Kevin selling his soul to the likes of OPR and Tyler Perry. Supposedly, if he had lifted a finger to help Monique revive her career, it would have put his own career in jeopardy. Oh, and let's not forget about Katt Williams chiming in on the same topic. For those of you who don't know about the ongoing showdown between Katt Williams and Kevin Hart, you might recall that the beef traces back to the 2008 film Fool's Gold. Williams was initially set to take the lead, but his legal issues at the time forced him to pass on the gig, which involved filming down under in Australia. Enter Kevin Hart, who swooped in and snagged the role instead. According to the grapevine, that's where the sparks of tension between Williams and Hart first ignited. Now, we're talking about more than a decade of simmering beef, folks. It's like a slow-cooked drama stew that's finally reaching its boiling point. Williams, with all his comedic flair, is now taking aim at Kevin Hart. When the topic of Kevin Hart came up in his conversation with Shannon, Katt straight up alleged that Hart might be an industry plant. He questioned the lightning speed of Kevin's success, highlighting how he landed a sitcom and led a movie, Soul Plane, all in his first year in Los Angeles. According to Katt, this raises eyebrows and makes Kevin's early history seem a bit like a mystery. He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA, and in his first year in LA, he had his own sitcom on network television, and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person, or since that person, he continued, saying. What do you think a plant is? Maybe people don't understand the definition of these words.
Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA, and in his first year in LA, he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? What do you think a plant is?
Katt didn't shy away from getting into the nitty-gritty, expressing his concern about letting people who might not be truthful create their own narratives unchecked. He brought up the power imbalance, mentioning how liars have all the assets and resources, leaving the rest of the folks to play catch-up. Katt even challenged the idea that these resources factor in when it comes to the truth. In Katt's words, he expressed concern about letting individuals who might not be truthful create their own stories unchecked, especially when they have abundant resources. Despite the accusations, Katt seemed aware of the potential backlash, acknowledging that behind his back, he might be seen as a bitter and jealous comedian. When asked if he feared any backlash, Williams responded, "Satan can't create anything. That includes blessings for his people. That's why, you know what the no one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is to act like it didn't happen." But guess what? Kevin fired back at Katt Williams in a post shared on platform X, giving his take on the latest diss. Kevin didn't just clap back, he also took the opportunity to plug his newest project, which is set to hit Netflix. He said, "Gotta get that anger up out, champ. It's honestly sad. In the meantime, please enjoy my movie trailer to my next film, Lift, which will be dropping on Netflix in 8 days." Also, during an explosive rant on the Club Shay Shay podcast, Kevin Hart had this to say when asked about being called out by comedian Katt Williams. "You don't entertain the circus. You watch it. When a lion comes out and rides the bike, you don't think about it too hard. You just go, okay, that's crazy. The lion is riding a bike. And then you go home and enjoy the rest of your day." Hart responded during an interview with Fox 5's Kevin McCarthy about his new action comedy, Lift. "I don't feed into the stuff at all at the end of the day. It's all entertaining to a certain degree," Hart said. He added he's sure his fans will fact-check claims like the ones made against him by Williams. "I just don't have the time for it. There's too much going on," Hart said. So, diving more into why Katt Williams has this whole Kevin Hart is an industry plant theory, it goes back to a Hollywood rumor that's been circulating for quite a while. There's this talk that entertainers are kind of blackmailed into wearing a dress on screen, almost like a rite of passage before they can level up in the fame game. And it's not just Katt Williams who's been talking about this, even Dave Chappelle has touched on it. In 2006, during an appearance on Oprah, Dave spilled the tea about why he turned down a whopping $50 million deal from Comedy Central. He wasn't in it just for the money because, as he explained, big bucks often come with some serious strings attached. Dave, being in the showbiz game since he was 14, had seen and heard stories about what happens behind the scenes. comedians. He pointed out examples like Mariah Carey landing a $100 million deal only to end up mysteriously labeled as crazy a few months later. Or Martin Lawrence making it big and then suddenly waving a gun on the streets, screaming about someone trying to kill him. It's those stories that had Dave cautious. When OPR asked him about hearing these stories, Dave laid it out. He'd seen it happen before, and it always went down when a person's career was on the brink of reaching the next level. According to Dave, he was pressured to create sketches that made people laugh at him, not with him. It felt like they were asking him to put himself on blast for a paycheck. And wait, there's more to this saga. Dave Chappelle even recalled being asked to wear a dress for a movie he did with Martin Lawrence. He walks into the trailer and sees a dress, thinking it's the wrong one. Turns out it's for a scene where Martin's character sneaks out of jail by dressing Chappelle as a prostitute. Chappelle's like, "Nah, I'm not doing that. It wasn't in the discussion." They try to pressure him, saying it's a hilarious bit, but he stands his ground, saying he doesn't need a dress to be funny. The whole thing gets intense with writers, directors, and producers pushing, but Chappelle sticks to his guns. In the end, they come up with a new scene without the dress, and he's left wondering, how did you write that so fast? Dave just didn't vibe with it, not because wearing a dress is an issue on its own, but because he felt the industry was trying to corner black artists into doing whatever it took for success. They kept hounding him until they figured out he wouldn't budge. Dave revealed this whole experience was an eye-opener. It took being told to wear a dress for him to connect the dots and realize this wasn't just his struggle. Lots of other black men had been asked to do the same. Martin Lawrence rocked it in Big Mama's House. Eddie Murphy pulled it off in the Nutty Professor series, and Jamie Foxx left a mark with his unforgettable Ugly Wanda on In Living Color. Then you've got the Wayans brothers trying their hand at it with White Chicks. Oh, and we can't forget the less successful Juwanna Mann. Yeah, some would rather forget that one. In the mix of all this, Tyler Perry takes the cake. He's not just known for his entertainment game, but has major influence even in right-wing evangelical circles. His Medea franchise? Talk about significant success and acclaim in the entertainment world. Now let's talk about the whole Kevin Hart and Tyler Perry saga. You know how Tyler Perry's Medea franchise is like the holy grail of success? Well, now there's a buzz that maybe Kevin Hart struck a deal with the devil, or in this case, Tyler Perry. Here's the scoop. Back when the trend of black comedians wearing dresses was sweeping Hollywood, Kevin Hart joined the conversation, dropping some wisdom about artists needing to safeguard their brand and not overstep certain boundaries. He made it clear that up until that point, he hadn't faced any challenges that clashed with his personal beliefs. When the topic of the notorious dress scenario came up, Kevin was like, "No way, not for me. Gotta set those boundaries, protect the brand." But hold on, here's where it gets interesting. Just a year later, Kevin finds himself donning a dress for an SNL skit. Fans weren't having it. They accused him of being a sellout, calling him out for going back on his words about protecting the brand.
The new pope is 9-year-old Oscar nominee, Kavenshané Wallace.
So what's the deal? Well, some folks are thinking it's just Kevin's turn to go through the Hollywood rite of passage. You know, the whole wear a dress, join the club thing that was trending. It's like a bizarre initiation that some entertainers seem to face at some point. But wait, there's more speculation in the rumor mill. Some are whispering that Kevin might have decided to cozy up to Tyler Perry to climb the fame ladder. The conspiracy theory goes that Tyler Perry might have told Kevin, "You want the top? Put on the dress." And Kevin, well, ended up doing just that. I mean, Kevin Hart has always admired Tyler Perry, so it's probably true. Now, Monique didn't just leave it at Kevin Hart. She also circled back to her previous beef with Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry. This drama started way back in 2009 when Monique starred in Precious, a movie produced by Oprah and Tyler Perry and directed by Lee Daniels. The real beef kicked off when Oprah and Tyler decided Monique should hit the press circuit for the film without any paycheck. Monique wasn't having it and straight up said, "Nah, not in my contract." According to Monique, she only got a measly $50K for the whole movie, which was barely enough. Now they wanted her to jet around the world promoting the film for free? Not on Monique's watch. But OPR and Tyler didn't take her refusal well at all. Instead, they started trashing her reputation in the industry, spinning a narrative about her being difficult to work with. Monique spilled the tea, saying Tyler Perry told her, "You may want to consider promoting this film because if you get nominated for an Oscar, your next film is $3 to $5 million. And if you win it, your next film is $6 to $8 million. Monique was like, "Hold up, I'm a black woman. Where are they paying those salaries, brother?" She straight up told Tyler, "I can't work for free. I've done what I was supposed to do. I can't go overseas and do this for free." Their back and forth continued, with Tyler saying he doesn't believe in giving money away for free, and Monique firing back, "I don't believe in working for free. So we on the same page?" It's a classic case of clash in values, and Monique wasn't backing down.
He goes on about his spiel, you know. I said, well, listen, you can write me the check for me to go overseas. I don't care where the money comes from, but I'm not gonna do it for free. He says, well, I don't believe in giving money away for free. I said, I don't believe in working for free, so we're on the same page.
She also claimed Tyler Perry allegedly went the extra mile to mess with her acting gigs. According to Monique, it all went down after she turned down a request to fly to France for the Cannes Film Festival, tied to promoting the movie Precious. So, check it. The movie studio initially asked her to jet off to France, but Monique, with her busy schedule as a talk show host, comedian, and family woman, respectfully declined. They tried to sweeten the deal by offering to upgrade her hotel room, but she and her husband stuck to their guns, saying, "Nah, we're gonna spend this time with our family." She said, "OPR, I'm doing a talk show, I'm doing a comedy tour, I have a husband and I have babies, I have a little bit of downtime and I'm going to take advantage of it. So I'm not going anywhere because I'm not obligated to go anywhere. I've done my part." So we mutually agreed to disagree. That was it. Next thing I know, I am considered difficult and hard to work with. When the third call came and they asked, "What's it gonna take to get Monique to France?" Her husband straight up asked, "Is there a number associated with it?" That's when they dropped the bomb that they would never pay for anyone to do promotions for a movie. Monique revealed she was paid a mere $50,000 for Precious, and it wasn't about the money. She signed up to do it with her friend. The interviewer dug in, suggesting she needed the money to feed her family and pay bills, and Monique responded, "I think that's what America says. We all say, I can't do it for free." She explained that when the movie studio refused to pay for her Cannes appearance, they didn't make a fuss. But then the reports started flying, painting Monique as demanding and difficult. The whole thing boiled down to a simple request that they understood couldn't be met. But suddenly, Monique found herself labeled, and that's where the drama kicked in.
Because what people didn't know was I was paid $50,000 to do the movie Precious. And it really wasn't about the money, and I'm not complaining because I signed up to do it with my friend. Can't set a precedence and pay you to do this. We didn't have an issue with them.
Okay.
But that's when the reports came that now Monique is being demanding and she's being difficult.
Monique doesn't stop there. She spilled some more tea during her Apollo set, saying that the term blackballed isn't quite right in her book. In her words, she said, "What is that black D connected to? That black man?" So no, I was not blackballed. I was whiteballed by some black Ds who have no balls. Thank you, Mr. Lee Daniels. Thank you, Mr. Tyler Perry. Thank you, Miss OPR Winfrey, she continued. See, I know they like to say, Monique, you talk too mother effing much. It would me not to say the real SHT. You are not paying me equally. You are not treating me fairly so you can my D if I had one. Media stories start popping up, painting Monique as difficult to work with. Suddenly, no one wanted to cast her, despite her winning an Oscar for her role in Precious. Imagine seeing all your hard work go down the drain. Monique started putting two and two together, realizing someone was out to get her. In a recent chat with The Hollywood Reporter, she spilled the beans that Precious director Lee Daniels admitted she got blackballed for not playing the game. Monique's even called out OPR and Tyler Perry, asking for an apology that, as far as we know, is still MIA. But the drama doesn't end there. A year after the film was released, OPR invited members of Monique's estranged family onto her talk show against Monique's wishes. Here's the backstory. Monique's brother A-ed her when she was 7 to 11, and she had been open about it in a 2008 interview with Essence. Monique confided in OPR about her strained relationship with her parents due to the A, and OPR seemed understanding. Now, Monique's not thrilled about it, to say the least. OPR supposedly gave her a heads up that only her brother was going to be on the show, but surprise, surprise, her mom ends up making an appearance too. And let's just say, it stirred up some serious drama in Monique's personal life. People started coming up to her in the store, throwing shade at her mom. Monique's quick to throw in some humor to ease the tension, joking that while the ladies in the store weren't exactly lying about her mom, she still felt the sting. She makes it clear that if OPR had just given her a heads up about bringing her mom on, she would have shut it down real quick. Monique was blindsided seeing commercials featuring her family. OPR had gone back on her word, pretending to be caring. Monique demanded an apology, but OPR offered zilch. No private, no public apology, nothing. So you can imagine the hurt and betrayal Monique's feeling about the whole situation. It's like a punch to the gut, and she's not holding back and calling it what it is. A betrayal. And naturally, after this interview went viral, the internet went wild, and fans couldn't resist jumping in with their thoughts. One fan said, "I like Kevin's work, but if everyone say the same thing about you, I don't know." Another fan said, She said in the interview Tyler admitted to starting the rumor about her being difficult. It was clear blackballing and Kevin was raccooning for a check. Well, folks, this is all pretty wild, you know? Monique's been sticking to her guns on this for years, and you gotta respect that consistency. She hasn't tweaked her story one bit. Makes you wonder if there's some truth behind it all, right? Anyways, what's your take on this whole situation? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see you in the next video.